So, this video is going to be about routers, or more specifically, router tables, or even more specifically, how I'm going to build a router table on the end of my table saw. So this is our router table. Don't get me wrong, it does work, but it's not the best, and I'm trying to save space here, and this is kind of a pain in the ass to drag out because it lives up on the top shelf in a corner, so I avoid using it. Now, I'm thinking, hold on a second, I build it into the left-hand side of this table saw here. But first, I gotta get the router out of the router table. Now I'll get this out of the way and I'll be right back. I'm also going to need the wing of the table saw. I'll remove my cover real quick. Oh, those are tight. 1 second. Now, I would just drill, 3 holes plus a big one in the center and stick this on, but if you look, it's too big. So I'm going to have to make a new wing for the saw, which is easy if you have a normal saw, but this one, the fence rail is integral to the wing, so I might have my work cut out for me here. So I'm going to be using this piece of 5/8 particle board that came off of an old wall unit, mainly because it's a nice smooth melamine type finish on top. Actually, it's not even melamine, it's like paper type stuff, but it is smooth. And it's large enough front to back. So first thing I do is figure out where exactly I want the router to be. Nice thing is, both of my routers use the same hole pattern, even though this one's a relatively new relatively new Mastercraft, which is Canadian Tire's house brand, and this one's a antique Craftsman. So that makes this easy. And then you can use the same screw too, even. So the only thing that's different is this one has the extra thing for the above table height adjustment, which I'll have to just drill a 1/4 inch hole for, so that's no big deal. But I do want to figure out which is the third side. This. So if I make this like 7, yeah, that should work. Okay, so we're gonna make that like 7, which should be fine. Then I'll find the center and drill some holes. Let's get to work. Okay, so I got this cut. I forgot to turn the camera on, I'm sorry. But I did decide to make this a little easier for myself. I'm just going to not bother with the fence, because even so, this will go out, this is still allowed to go out to like 10 inches, which I rarely use the fence on this side of the blade at all. I almost always use it on the right hand side. So I'm just going to build, space it, use some of this stuff I have left over from old projects to bring that up to the right height, like so. But first, let's get some holes laid out. Alright, I just got the center marked out on here, but I pulled a stupid and forgot to turn the camera on. I got the base plate off my larger router here. This has 2 sets of holes because it's designed so you can leave the plate on and mount the router in the table. So I want to use the set of holes that's not countersunk, but I'm just going to line up the ridges with my marks here, and that should give me a pretty close center. Okay, now we mark those holes. Alright. And I almost forgot to mark this hole here for the above table height adjustment. There. That should do it. Now I'm going to take, I'm just going to, alright, I need a center punch. I'm going to center punch these, damn sure the center marks. This hole doesn't need to be a sprinkled, so I'm going to take a hammer and move it all back. Okay, now I gotta drill out those. I couldn't find flathead M5 screws the length I needed, so I'm gonna be using these, which just means I gotta do a counter bore instead of a counter sink. No big deal. So now I'm just gonna get these drilled out, and then maybe figure out what size the hole in the center needs to be. I don't usually use large diameter drill bits, so I think I might just copy the size of the hole on the old router table. Yeah, because the largest bit I have is like maybe 1.5 inches in diameter at most. So, yeah. Now I'm going to drill a 1 3/4 inch hole right in the center here with a hole saw. And done. Okay, I got the router mounted finally, as you can see here. Now I gotta figure out some spacers for underneath here. So I think I'm just gonna take this. Okay, now you know it's actually using some 1.25 inch wood screws. These are number 8 screws. Shit, that shit on me. Okay. Now let's throw some screws down from the top to attach it. Whoop, that went way too deep. There. Solid. There is a slight ridge here. Here, I'll show you. See, there is a ridge there, but that shouldn't affect much of anything because it's lower. What I want to see though is, does it affect the fence? Now the fence will go to almost 9.5 inches left of blade, which is more than adequate for what I do. Okay, it's the next day, and I think I'm not going to just leave it like this. I'm going to see if I can make that the right thickness to get it closer to flush with that. So, let me get this back apart and we'll see what we got to do. Okay, so I'm going to take this piece of 5/8 particle board that's the rest of the board I cut the router table top out of. I'm going to set it on there, and then I'm going to take my digital calipers, which for 15 bucks, they're well worth the money for stuff like this. Canadian Tire is great. I'm going to make sure they're zeroed. And I just want to measure the difference in height between these two. .1 inches. What is it at the back end? I think if I'm doing this anyways, I might as well do it right. I did just cut the piece 7 inches long from a 2x4, but I forgot to turn the camera on again. But I think I'm going to cut the fence profile in it anyways. Now I just need to cut the router table down to 18 inches. The way the fence on this saw works is it'll go out to like 24, but after you get past like 15, it's really questionable the way the scale works. Here, I'll show you. You set the fence to you're supposed to set 15 inches and read off of here, but the scale on, there's no way in hell that's ever going to be accurate. I prefer to just measure the gap between the two tables to the 3 inches you need, and then double check by measuring right to the blade, of course. But let's just get this cut down. I am too lazy to take the router back off, so. There we go. Cut down to 18 inches, just like I needed it to be. Now let's like that. There. Fence. The largest bit I'd ever be using in here, which is a 1/2 inch round over, and it fits just fine. Let's try this out. Hold on, I'll grab a piece of scrap wood real quick and an extension cord. Works good. Nice round over on that. Yeah, I think I'll probably be a lot more likely to use the router table now that I don't have to get it down off the top shelf in a corner. It's right here, easy to get at. I'm surprised how solid that turned out too. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned something from this video. If you didn't learn anything, I hope it was at least entertaining. Yeah, right. Fail. Now I have to modify